Welcome back to the Offsiders Podcast. Today we've got a little tasty episode for you. Going to start getting you hyped up for the transfer episode that we've got coming up. But we're not doing that just yet. Waiting for deadline day, waiting for the transfer window to shut. So long we're going to be covering. We're going to be doing. Each of us are going to choose one transfer in the last couple of years, 5, 10, whatever, that we feel is the worst transfer. And each of us is going to name it, sort of go into a little bit of detail, discuss why, and yeah, that sort of thing. But obviously, first we've got to do a little bit of a news segment, a couple of things that have been going on in the football world, and also the fact of the day, which is going to be brought to you now by Matteo.
What's up, guys? Okay, so I've got quite an interesting little fact for you. It is in fact the world's oldest football club, and that is Sheffield Football Club. Coming in at, I think it was like 150 years or something. They were founded in the year 1857.
Yes,
It's such a wild concept to think that football was crack-a-lacking down in the 1/8, you know?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
the 19th century.
God, Rose, we were playing football in the Red Capes.
Yeah. So, I mean, old football club, lots of history to it. And for their 150th university, they actually... University anniversary. they played a game against, who was it, Luke? Inter Milan 2007, which they lost, unfortunately, 6-2. Rip.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, yeah. But the cool thing is they had Pele come out and hand out the Man of the Match award. They signed him. I mean,
he's going to get a few more.
He's as old as the club.
Tally.
Yeah, so he came out and handed out the Man of the Match award. So that was pretty cool, regardless of the fact that they got their asses whooped 6-2.
Fantastic. News.
News. We'll
Start
start off.
Bournemouth in the shitter.
Yeah, start off Bournemouth.
Sure.
Liverpool,
Yeah.
9-0. Third one in how many seasons? 4 seasons now? Third 9-0?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's 4 seasons.
Yes, yeah, because there was a couple of 8-0s. Yeah, but mostly...
There's 2 9-0s in a row. Then we had last year, there was none.
No,
And
this
now
year
it's this year.
third,
So
yeah.
it's third 9-0 in 4 years.
Got to catch
Still
up.
waiting on the 10.
Yeah, still no one breaking the
Yeah,
10.
no one breaking the 10.
It's
interesting.
weird. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
It's so close to like the record because the most goals in the game is 11.
Yeah.
I think it was 7-4 the final score.
Holy shit.
It's like just under.
Just score 3 more. Somewhere.
The bad team just needs to get it in the net.
Yeah.
Like twice.
Yeah, couple own goals, break a record.
No. Sure.
But yeah, and a bit of a backlash. Scott Parker, first 4 games of the season, he's out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shame.
That was sure. Not even Watford are that trigger happy. That's
rough
insane.
from them. It's
That's
really
insane.
rough.
I honestly think that is a disaster. They've simply sealed 20th place now.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no
Yeah.
hope of any other position.
Look, I can understand the upset that would come after that kind of a defeat, but at the end of the day,
the thing is, you can't all of a sudden forget what the manager has done over the past 2 seasons, just because of one bad game, you know. And I really think, again, it must have been so tough. City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
I mean,
in 4 weeks. Come on, guys.
did they think that they were going to get a result against those 3?
Yeah, was that their demand? Get points off those teams. I mean, come on, guys, that's so unrealistic.
And the thing is, the only game that he could have realistically got points off is Villa, and he did.
And he did. He won the game. It's not even like he got a
2-0,
draw.
decisive win.
You know,
And Riley's prediction in the mud. You
Yeah.
have to see it.
Damn.
Bournemouth are not getting relegated. Alex, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I had hope. I really did. I thought they were going to do a thing, but they did a thing. They did. Just the wrong thing.
Let's see. This little time. Who knows?
Bro, there's no chance.
Who though? Who is the question now?
It's
Sean
Dyche.
Dyche.
It's got to be Dashi.
Got to be Dashi boy. That would be great.
I actually really am rating that. It
Yeah.
has to happen. Sure.
I feel like they're too. I don't want to say pompous, but I feel like they feel like they're too good for that.
No, but
No,
small
it's-
club, small transfer budgets. He would get on with those fans so well.
Yeah.
Fair, he would.
Facts.
Fair.
Facts.
I was saying to Riley after the 9-0, they posted on social media, defeat at Anfield. And all of the comments, none of the comments were like, park out. None of them were like that.
No.
All of the comments were like, oh, close game, boys, end-to-end stuff. We'll get him next time.
It's a self-confidence.
It's a nice fan base. Like, it really is nice.
They really are good. They really are good people.
And Sean Dyche has personality. I feel like they'd relate to.
That's
I
fair.
think the only thing is that if he does come in the whole philosophy of what they've done up to that point will be changed.
That's the thing. I don't think he lines up with. I would love it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Dashi back. I think it is a club that fits him as well. Tiny club, small area, really close. Not even a 20,000 seater stadium. But I just think that the way he wants the direction of the team to go and the way that the owners and stuff want is completely different. So I would love to see it, but I just don't think it's realistic.
If he did come in, they'd have to get Nat Phillips back on.
Yeah, listen, Doug, you would have to just get rid of all of the foreign players.
Nat Phillips under Sean Dashi.
Yes.
Huge.
Crunching.
He's gonna be there Monday morning at the door. Forklift license, it's out. Otherwise, you're not coming inside the training.
You cannot walk inside unless you've got a hard hat on.
If you have 2 active parents, you're out.
Half-vis jackets or nothing. If you don't smell like diesel, fuck off.
Instant transfer out.
But yeah, so there's that. Other news: Man United breaking their transfer record for Anthony of Ajax.
Won't go too deep into that one because we've got a juicy little episode.
We'll go through that.
We'll break it down.
Just nice to see United finally
doing some stuff. Yeah.
Where was this money for Dion?
Yeah, come on.
I mean,
Andy Milford De Jong, there's no ways Barcelona turned down. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Otherwise, just a quick look at the table. We've got an interesting looking table ahead of us. We've got Arsenal at first, City second, Tottenham third, Brighton fourth. My goodness.
That's called
Leeds fifth, Chelsea sixth, Newcastle seventh, United eighth, Liverpool ninth, and Brentford 10th. And I won't go further than that. But I mean, that in itself for me is a crazy looking little table there.
Stop the count.
Stop it there. United above Liverpool. That's all we want.
We'll take it.
I think tomorrow's looking at tomorrow's Premier League fixtures. I think realistically, the top 4 play tomorrow because you have Liverpool against Newcastle, Tottenham, West Ham, City, Forest, and Arsenal, Villa.
And Chelsea play tonight.
Yeah,
they can also get up there.
So yeah, it's looking interesting. I think
United play Thursday. I think.
Yes, correct, against Leicester. Yeah.
Big game actually, even though they're in bad form.
I do quite like the midweek football. I enjoy it a little bit. It's nice. It's nice to have that little extra thing.
It is nice.
Gets you through the week.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see where that goes, but I think that's about it for our news section.
Yeah, I've got to be out for the news section. Let's go on to the main section. We're going to be talking about the worst transfers in the last 5-10 years. Starting off with our transfers, we've got Riley. Take it away.
Sure. What an absolute plethora of shocking transfers to choose from. It was quite tough actually. I think it's a risky business to do transfers in football. And so I think there's a common theme tonight that we'll find out quite soon. But it's a very Chelsea thing to do terrible and irrational signings. And so I'll start us off with our first shocking Chelsea signing. And I have decided to go with Danny Drinkwater. So Drinkwater came to Chelsea in the 17-18 transfer window. At that time, in that window, he was the 3rd most expensive signing that year.
Damn.
Only behind Morata. Listen to these humdingers of transfer. Morata for 66 million, Bakayoko for 40 million, and then Drinkwater for 37.9 million. The next in line was Rudiger for 35 million. So sure, some real quality in that top 4 that year. So we really had a bustling transfer season in the 17-18.
That's a really win more.
Some absolutely horrific comparisons as to why this was such a terrible transfer. Just to start off with, in terms of monetary value. So obviously he went for 37.9 million that season in that transfer window. In the same window, Liverpool bought Salah for 34.4 million. City bought Edison for 35 million.
God damn.
United bought Lindelof for 30.75.
Still solid 7.
And Tottenham bought Lucas Moura for 28.4 million. So you're trying to tell me Salah, Edison, Lindelof, and Lucas Moura all cost less, not always together, but cost less individually than Danny Drinkwater. And we'll explain now why that was so terrible. So, Danny Drinkwater had been playing professional football since about 2008. He had played with a bunch of different championship sides. In the 11-12 season, he joined Leicester City. They were in the Championship. That year, they finished 9. Sorry, so 9. They finished 9th. He played 19 matches and got 4 goals and assists. 12-13, also in the Championship, they finished 6th. He played 42 games and got 5 goals and assists. So not a great season, but
Yeah.
13-14, they played in the Championship. They won the Championship. Okay, he played 45 games, 10 goal contributions. Decent.
Not bad. For a midfielder.
14-15, they were in the Premier League. They finished 14th. He played 23 games, 0 goal contributions. Okay, so this is where the red flag should be flying. Okay, first Prem season, no goals, no
Did
goals.
play a deep role at Leicester, but still, it's.
But hear me out. No goal contributions. 2015-16, okay, the title-winning season. Okay, Leicester City win the Premier League out of nowhere. Plays 35 games. Okay, he gets 10 goal contributions. Okay, so he's pumped his numbers up tenfold. All right. The following season, 2016-17, still in the Prem, they finished 12th. He plays 29 games and 3 goal contributions. Okay,
This
so
man
now,
is so
there we go. First of all,
Inconsistent.
you should be looking at his stats and saying he's only got 10 goal contributions in the past 6 years.
Damn.
He does play a deeper role, but at the same time, like you can see that there's a reliance on goals and so on at a particular point. Okay, so over those between 11, 12 and 16, 17, he played a total of 193 games. Okay, and he had 32 goal contributions, which is 0.17 per game. Okay, not too bad. He had a 32 game average per season. So on average, he played 32 games a season, which is decent. I mean, he's playing, he's starting, he's getting in there, he's got game time. He makes the transfer to Chelsea, 17-18. Okay, in the Premier League, they finish 5th. He plays 12 games, 1 goal contribution. Okay, 18-19, they play in the Prem, they finish 3rd. He doesn't play a single game, not one.
Not one.
Not one single game.
Doesn't even come
Okay.
on.
Second season.
So the second season doesn't play. No, it doesn't even come on. He sits bench the entire football season.
God damn.
Okay. So Conte must have seen this man and just gotten absolutely fuming. He was like, "There's no ways. There's no ways." Maurizio Sarri must have seen this man and be like, "Absolutely no."
Same reaction as Harry Winks.
I refuse. Then 1920, beginning of the season, he goes on loan to Aston Villa. He plays 2 games for Aston Villa. December, he goes on loan to Burnley. They finish 10th. He plays 3 games, 0 goal contributions. So he's gone on to loan. He's played for 3 clubs other than Leicester. And he's played a total of 17 matches over 3 years. 2 different loan spells and one club.
And they progressively got worse clubs.
Literally. He then, listen to this, 2021, he's back at Chelsea, but he's playing in Premier League 2 for the under-23s.
No.
He plays 3 games. He plays 3 games. Only 3 games. Okay. Then, 21-22, he leaves for Turkey, a team called Kasimpasa.
I didn't even know he left Chelsea, to be honest. I thought he's still there.
Yeah. He goes to a team called Kasimpasa, where he plays 11 games, 0 goal contributions. And finally, 22-23, currently playing for championship side Reading. And he has played a total of 33 games for them.
Goal contributions?
Yeah, 33 is not bad.
2 goal
But
contributions.
33 games, at least he's playing games now.
So the change,
I think
is
it's
over
better.
between the 17-18 season and the 22-23 season. Okay, he played a total of 64 games. Okay, so in the same amount of years, he has played 129 less games, and he had 29 less goal contributions. So he had three goal contributions in 64 games, which was an average of 0.04.
When there's a 0 after the point.
Yeah, that's game over.
Stop it.
So he had an 11 game average per season. So he went from 32 game average per season to 11 games. So
the great
what we can deduce from this is the fact that
after that
some
great
analysis.
After crunching the numbers.
What we can deduce from this is the fact that he played for a really good Leicester side for 1 season. Did something, I don't know what he did, to vindicate £37.9 million transfer to pull through to Chelsea, where he immediately just fell out of favor he must have said some nonsense, or he must have just like there is no there's nowhere where he doesn't even get spoken about. This is the thing. It's not even like there was like a public falling out with the player.
I didn't know he was transferred out of Chelsea. That's
the thing. Like he literally just went there and just completely disappeared. You know, so it's ridiculous to me that they would allow that to happen. You know, surely your third most expensive signing in a year gets a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
You know, whether from the owners or the media or something. You know,
A little bit of backing
for
that
you know?
kind of money.
So I don't think he's ever worth even 15 million, even at the time, even at his prime, because he was 27 when he made the transfer. So, you know, he's in his prime.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's even worth 15 million at that point. You know,
Like he's certainly not getting better from that.
Exactly. So just a horrible transfer, a lot of money.
To add on to why it was silly to sign him in the first place is that the season before they signed Kante,
Yes.
who is a deep lying player from Leicester who doesn't score or assist goals.
But
So then they went and signed another deep lying player from Leicester who doesn't score. So they just decided, no, we don't want goals in our midfield.
It's cool. We'll just have
We
this
don't
guy.
want any goal contributions from
We'll
this
just do this guy. You know.
So it just makes no sense.
It's just baffling, and I think it's a typical Leicester transfer in the fact that they just squeezed out every penny, you know, and I don't know, like
currently doing that for Fofana, actually.
Literally, you know, surely you go into this transfer and you say to yourself, we have a limit as to how much we're going to pay, you know, but what it seems like is that they just panicked and they just threw money at it.
At some point, people need to stop bending over for Leicester,
100%.
especially Man United and Chelsea.
You know, and I mean, unfortunately, Leicester transfers really haven't proven their worth. You know, Kante definitely, Mahrez to a certain extent.
Kante and Mahrez are the only.
Maguire is still yet to pay back his 80 million.
We play so much better when he's off the pitch.
Drink water, absolutely. I mean, there's no ways. I don't think he's even it's insane. It's cost Chelsea £500,000 per more than £500,000 per appearance, and he hasn't even played half of those games for Chelsea. You know, like it's ridiculous.
That's painful.
Yeah, drink water, terrible transfer, horrible. Who's next?
Luki?
Back.
All right. I mean, my player, he's already been mentioned, and we're going back to Chelsea, so we can already see the trend picking up here. But I'm going with, their second most expensive signing that season, and it is Timo Bakayoko. Now, let me take you all the way back. Early days at Monaco.
The beginning of time.
Now, Monaco, very well known now, bringing through some amazing youngsters, got them become world beaters. But his early days, there were already some issues.
Oh Lord.
So originally at his youth club, joined Monaco in 2014, July, for 7 million euros. But he only made his debut in August. Started, but then was subbed off in the 32nd minute.
Oh Jesus.
He then did not play another match for over 2 months.
Yes.
What? With the rest of the season being filled with injuries and just very inconsistent form. And at the time, the current Monaco manager spoke about his attitude problems and seeing any lack of progress from the player at all. But in the following 2 seasons, he ended up making 31 appearances, and he had a whole mentality change. It was read that he sold his pink car and bought some like standard Toyota, moved out of his mansion into an apartment.
Okay.
Or kind of around himself.
Yeah, they kind of pull himself together.
Okay, interesting tactic.
Yeah, I mean, and it seemed to work because as a result from that, he started becoming a regular player for Monaco, which ended up helping them win the league title in the 2016-17 season, as well as that season being named in the Champions League team of the season as well.
Sure.
From that season, he was most famously known for winning that Champions League semi-final against City in a 3-1 win over them, where they won on away goals 6-6.
Jesus.
He scored the winning header. And in that same squad, that same Monaco squad that went far in the Champions League, that won the league, you had the likes of Bernardo Silva, Fabinho, Mbappe. So surrounded with talent. All those players famously moved to the likes of City, Liverpool, and PSG, and have become absolutely instrumental for the teams, going on to winning leagues, winning Champions Leagues. But Bakayoko ended up moving to Chelsea, in July 2017 for around 44 million euros, I think you said.
Yeah.
Big transfer fee back then.
It was,
That's
Yeah,
chunky.
facts.
That's chunky.
it was their second most expensive one at the time that he moved. I think the one ahead of him was Fernando Torres.
Oh,
Before-
Torres. Sorry.
And then they walk around after. But brought him in to help hold that midfield next to Kante, who they signed the year previously.
And Drinkwater, yeah.
And-
Yeah, I was about to say.
Damn, what a midfield trio. But unfortunately, that is not how it turned out. In his first full season was full of complete inconsistencies, with some of the worst performances of his career, coming in a 4-1 loss to Watford while being sent off in the game, as well as on the last day of the season, a 3-0 loss to Newcastle, and being sent off in that game as well.
Jesus.
When you say sent off, you mean like red card sent off?
Straight red card.
Oh, damn.
Is this?
And then he continued that poor form into the next season in 2018 by starting off the season being at fault for Chelsea conceding a goal against Inter in a pre-season friendly, which they ended up losing. So already, even before the season started, already causing shit.
Fucking up.
And then it all started August 15th, 2018, his downfall. His actual downfall began. Loaned out AC Milan, 1 season long loan, €5 million with an option to buy for 35 million. During the season, by fans, pundits labelled as confused, messy, and a disaster.
Oh, damn. They compared it to Messi. Messi? Damn.
He then ended the season, returned to Chelsea, only to be sent out on loan again, but back to Monaco for the 1920 season with an option to buy for 42 million euros. So he's gotten more expensive.
What? Yes.
He had a very underwhelming season, and Monaco ended up finishing 9th after the season ended abruptly with COVID or whatever. But then that loan ended, went back to Chelsea, where he was once sent out on loan again, but now to Napoli for the 2020-2021 season.
Didn't even know you played there.
Same. Same.
No idea.
He helped them to a 5th place finish, and they ended up runners in the cup, which I think he played about 2 games in the cup, so he didn't do much there.
Sure.
Before returning back to Chelsea, and then being sent back on
Oh my
loan to
God.
AC Milan on a 2-season loan, which was last season, which he currently still is there, where he did end up winning the league, and fair play to him. But, I mean, since his early days in Monaco, he was being like compared to the likes of like Yaya Toure, the way he was playing that box to box, just absolute shithouse footballer, just muscle everyone, he can score goals, assists, defend, everything. But since he's moved to Chelsea, he actually hasn't played for Chelsea while still being a Chelsea player since 2017.
Holy
What?
moly.
So he's
Yes,
still
yes.
technically
He's
still a Chelsea
he's
player.
still,
owned by
he's still a
Chelsea.
Chelsea player, but he has not played a single match for Chelsea since 2017.
Oh my days.
Bro, listen, I heard his name going around. I was like, does this dude even play games? Like, I
Yeah.
just hear his name. I just
Yeah.
hear Bakayoko. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And I don't know what's crazy. I don't know what's crazy if like why Chelsea won't just sell him,
I mean,
or
they
the
can't,
fact that
probably.
the
Like
fact
no one wants him. That's the thing.
or, yeah, I suppose. But then why do people keep taking him loan?
Because they don't want to pay. They want to pay money for it.
Yeah, they want
Just want
a body in the
Yeah.
squad.
They'll
So
take the player, but they don't want to pay cash.
it's funny that Monaco thing, 42 million transfer option to buy. They're like, oh yeah, option to buy, yeah, 42 million, reasonable.
Totally.
No chance. They got back, they're like, no chance.
Absolutely laughed in his faces. Terrible.
Like, they really thought they could make their money back from the team they bought him
No chance.
Guys, insane.
from. I mean, yeah,
Absolutely laughed.
still at AC Milan now for this season. I think it's either this season or next season where his contract at Chelsea does come to an end. So maybe he might eventually leave Chelsea, but
Sure.
or they'll re-sign him and send him out on loan again.
He'll go to Everton.
Sure,
Everyone goes to
actually, there's a mad chance.
Every player like that
Yeah.
goes to Everton.
Yeah.
He'll go there.
But yeah,
I mean, on that note, Everton.
Yes, now Mateo as well.
I'll take us off into what I believe is the worst transfer, and that award I have so happily bestowed upon Dele Alli.
Sure.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.
Fortnite Pro Dele Alli.
That's the one. That's the one. And I think at this point, that's where he should be going. I think in a similar way to the way Riley described it, it was a slow decay.
Yeah.
Basically. So if I'll quickly have a quick rundown through the years where starting off his career at Tottenham. So in the 15-16 season, we've got 33 matches with 19 goal contributions. All right. 16-17, we got 37 matches with 25 goal contributions. 17-18, we've got 36 games with 19 goal contributions again. 18-19, 25 games, only 8 goal contributions. 19-20, also 25 games with 12 goal contributions. And then this is where it just goes really flatline. We've got the 2020. Okay, well, I'll actually get into that now because this is where he starts to dive deeper into the Everton side. So he arrived at Everton, and it was for some reason immediately like Frank Lampard was like, "I hate you." I actually don't. I have no idea why you're here, but I would suggest you remove yourself. So the deal that Tottenham and Everton had was basically the following, because Everton were a little bit reluctant to pay out the prices straight up for Dele Alli. So they got him on the loan, right? And the loan deal would kind of suggest that if he made it to 20 appearances, Spurs would put down a 10 million rand. I mean, basically, 10 million pound deposit for him, right? This was only if he got to 20 matches. So this played perfect into Frank Lampard's little plot here, because he was like, "Oh, right, well, fuck him, right? I ain't even going to let him to get to that number of matches, right?"
Plays 19, doesn't step foot in the squad anymore.
Yeah. So over his 2021 season all the way to 2023. Playing at Everton, he has a total of 13 matches with 0 goal contributions and 3 yellow cards. I mean, he literally picked up more pounds than he had goals. I mean, it is just insane. I mean, after a season after 2 seasons where you've only played a total of 13 games, I think that's when you start to realize, okay, well, I think it's time to head out here. So again, with Mr. Lampard trying his little tricks, he decided that what he was going to try to do is just transfer these little wages that he had to spend on Dele Alli over to Besiktas, where he currently resides. I think he's doing a little bit better there, but I mean,
played one match, they got a win. I don't think he scored or assisted. So
this is one of those players which you kind of look at and you go, "Damn, I wish it wasn't the case." So much potential, because you know what? Like in those early days at Tottenham, he was a star. He was.
He's scoring a worldie on his debut.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's making England squad.
England.
Exactly.
best youngster since Rooney and Lukaku. I mean, the numbers: 19 goal contribution. Foden hasn't put that up in a season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Yeah. So really, it was just an awful thing for Dele Alli, and we see that in the stats.
I think he was a massive victim of like just almost too much fame.
Yeah.
I think he was way too hyped, and he just went to his head, and then you get reluctant, and then you just fall apart.
He kind of rests on his laurels a bit.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, sick. I am the best in the world. I am the best youngster. Sick. I will be."
And I think that's the problem. I think you've seen a lot of like England youngsters. I don't know.
I think the thing is as well, like, Foden does well because Pep forces him to do well.
Yeah.
Pep will never allow him to get into that mentality like Dele Alli did. Where Ali's has really only had limp dick fucking managers behind him.
Yeah.
So no one's really pushed him.
I mean, even if you compare like the English youngsters to like Spanish youngsters, like likes of Pedri, that
man's
die
work
for
rate.
Barcelona.
Literally.
They're working together. These other ones, they're kind of expected to be kind of just served to them.
Yeah.
So I think that basically encapsulates it. I definitely think that was one of the worst transfers. I mean, it's kind of like he didn't even exist at Everton, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a good one. I agree. It's a bad transfer. swiftly going back to Chelsea now with my pick.
With no further ado.
It is. I'm going to go for what I believe to be the worst transfer in history. Maybe only arguing to be competing with Coutinho to Barcelona, and that is Lukaku to Chelsea. And this transfer was so bad for so many reasons. Firstly, coming off the back of winning the Scudetto with Inter Milan, he was on Rich Van der Form, like 30 goal contributions. He was nuts in Serie A.
Nice.
The season before, terrible, shocking. He was at Manchester United. He was playing with his Timbs on, and he was playing in jeans. He was garbage.
He was basically a construction worker.
He was honestly so bad.
You didn't even Timbs, you had them in cat boots with the steel toe tips.
Had the steel toes on. He was terrible. So he had proven that Premier League maybe not his pace. Anyway, Chelsea go, okay, we need a proper number 9 in. We need him to come in, finish off chances, and we're gonna sell some players and we're gonna buy him. So they decide to sell 3 strikers, amongst other players, but we'll focus on the strikers. They decide to sell 3 strikers or get rid of 3 strikers for that season. One was Olivier Giroud to AC Milan. The transfer fee was 1 million with a potential 1 million in add-ons.
Let's go. That's business.
I'm pretty sure they got those add-ons, so we'll be fair and say 2 million. Then they loaned out Armando Broja to, I believe it was Southampton.
Yeah.
Then they transferred out Tammy Abraham, and the fee was 34 million, 6 million in add-ons.
Decent cash.
So they got a total of 38 million, let's say.
Roughly, yeah.
No, let's add on the add-ons. They got 42 million total for those 3 strikers. Those 3 strikers, Olivier Giroud that season scored 11 goals and made 3 assists. Armando Broja that season scored 6 goals, and Tammy Abraham scored 17 goals and made 4 assists.
Holy shit.
So together they have 21 plus 6, 27 plus 14, 31, 41 goal contributions together. The players that Chelsea had on their books. They then spent 100 million to bring Lukaku.
For those who are not here, I literally saw the pain, like in Sasha's eyes.
They spent 100 million to bring Lukaku to the club. So that's a net minus of 58 million to bring him in and get rid of those 3 strikers. And for Chelsea, Lukaku scored 15. In all competitions, he made 15 goal contributions. He openly said that he wanted to go back to Inter Milan, and that was his love. He caused multiple sticks. He criticized the manager. It brought absolutely nothing to the gameplay. There was a game where he had 7 total touches, 1 being the kickoff. So for a net loss of 58 million, they got a total of about nearly 30 less goals by selling all of their young talents just to buy a striker who is slightly over his prime.
I just worked it out now. They were paying 3.8 million per goal that he scored.
Yes, per goal contribution, not even.
Goal contribution. Some of those are assists.
Yes.
And now, just after 1 singular season where they underachieved, he is now back on loan to Inter Milan for free, where Inter Milan are not even paying his wages.
Not even paying the wages.
So this transfer stinks.
Yeah.
In summary,
I think to kind of encapsulate all of that, we can see that Chelsea are quite the stinkers.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they just stuck with Tammy Abraham, bro, that's 10 extra goals.
I mean, he went on to go to Roma and absolutely smash it there as well.
But I don't understand why Chelsea keeps selling young players and buying random.
You know what the problem is? Is that they don't seem to ever listen to their managers.
Yeah.
They don't seem to listen to their managers because the thing is, City spend what They spend shit tons of money, but the Mans are fucking winning titles. You know,
Yeah.
their players are scoring 15 goals a season, each of them. You know, they're listening to exactly what Pep wants, and it's working. You know, that's how a transfer should be run.
And if you think of Chelsea's best players, all of them are their academy graduates.
Literally,
Yeah.
like
Fair point.
I mean, you look at Chelsea now. Lukaku back on loan, sold Werner back to Leipzig. Now they're back to where they started.
So
Yeah.
Werner back to Leipzig for a loss.
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
like
Back to no striker. Like,
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah.
Chelsea pulling out some stinky moves.
Yeah, so we can confirm that Chelsea and Everton suck at transfers. Yeah. Hopefully, United aren't the same.
Well, Anthony's looming, eh? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with Anthony.
That little noise.
But yes, that'll be all for our episode of the worst transfers of all time. I was going to ask Brandon what he thinks, but he didn't hear a word we said.
I agree with most of your opinions.
Okay,
Yes,
Brandon agrees.
We'll take it.
Some are shit,
Let's
some
go.
aren't.
And yeah, thank you guys for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Make sure to let us know who you think
Yeah,
is.
let us know what you think.
Give us a shout, you know.
give us a sub as well.
Always
Yeah,
appreciate
hit
it.
up the socials.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for listening. Catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Cheers, guys.